I've seen things you people would believe.
What do you mean, you people?
Say hello to my little friend!
Hello, pretty.
Daddy loves Froggy. Froggy love Daddy?
Yes! We're all different! I'm not.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad and the Odd with your host Mark. Today I'll be discussing the movie Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Beyond any terror you have imagined. A nightmare.
No.
Unlike anything you have witnessed. Is born. Because within these walls, the unholy is unleashed. Hellraiser, a film by Clive Barker.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Right, this is a British horror movie made in 1987. It was the brainchild of Clive Barker, who's a significant horror writer. British, based on one of his shortish stories, well, more of a novella, called The Hellbound Heart. He wrote this and directed it. It doesn't star anyone particularly famous apart from Andrew Robinson, who's most famous for being the psycho killer in Dirty Harry, and he's pretty good in this actually. He didn't have much of a career. I don't think. I could be wrong. I can only remember him in three things: Dirty Harry, this, and he was like the pencil-pushing bureaucrat in Cobra, which is kind of a weird turn-up for the books, considering his origins in Dirty Harry. I'm sure Sylvester Stallone had a laugh at himself when he cast him in that role. Now, this was Clive Barker's directing debut. I'm not sure he directed anything else after this. I think he probably did. And it's an interesting film. I haven't seen it in like a number of years, and it was quite striking at the beginning. When it first came out. I do remember it being a big talking point, but it's like, 25 years old now, so it's worth a relook. So I gave it a look, and a number of things struck me. First, the music is absolutely terrific, and it sounds just like Harry Potter to me. Just like Harry Potter. The music is really epic for this movie. It really is. Works really well. The other thing that struck me is how memorable the sections where the cenobites are present.
Demons to some, angels to others.
I haven't seen this film in 20 odd years probably, and I remember it almost exactly. They're so striking. The cenobites are so striking. I mean, the only one I knew the name of was Pinhead, really. And looking into this, I got the other names, and I did actually remember Chatterer was called Chatterer. Once I've been prompted by the Wikipedia page, but there are actually kind of four. Well, there's four human figures, and there's a fifth which I never considered a cenobite, but apparently could be considered one. And apparently in later films, I think there are 9 Hellraiser films in all. There are different cenobites. Pinheads in most of them, though. I think they came to a point where they were making them so cheap. The guy that plays Pinhead, quite rightly, didn't want to besmirch the legacy of Pinhead anymore and didn't take part. I don't know if they cast a different actress Pinhead in that, though. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any other of the Hellraiser films apart from this one. I may well move on to 2 at some point in the near future. Anyway, the sections with the cenobites were just terrific. There were also sections without the cenobites that were really good. The horror type sections. For example, there's a bit where the young girl Kirsty is in a hospital room, and suddenly you see the tiles and you hear like a bell. There's a significant use of a bell in this that works really well to set up all bad things are about to happen. And suddenly you see the tiles of the hospital change colour almost. Instead of being white tiles with black grouting or dark grouting, they become black tiles with white. but the white lights, and then smoke starts going through. Really well done, unbelievable. It looks really effective. And I believe the budget for this film was $1 million, and it looks terrific for that. But having said that, it's obviously limited in scope because they seem to only film, apart from a few bits like the hospital, and I'm pretty sure the attic where Frank, the growing presence, is located as a soundstage, but the rest of it's in a house. It looks terrific. He did a really good job of directing it visually. However, it does fall down in a number of areas. The dialogue is pretty bad. The acting in some of it isn't bad, actually. No, the acting's okay. But it's a really weird film, and it tries to present itself as being in America, but the house is so obviously British. The outside locations are so obviously British. The people, sort of secondary characters, I recognise from British TV, even though they're dubbed into American. The dubbing isn't brilliant. It's okay. But it's very generic kind of American voices talking. It wasn't like great voice actors or anything. But then it's secondary characters, so what do you expect? Well, it's one of those films. It's got big flaws, but the good stuff in it is really good. The practical effects are actually some of them are a little ropey, especially like the whatever it is, the monster stroke fifth cenobite is a bit ropey, but the actual cenobites look terrific, and some of the horror scenes with the sound design and the visuals really terrific. I mean, it's not surprising this is an iconic horror film. It's got so much more to it than, say, Friday the 13th. I'd say it's better than Nightmare on Elm Street as well, if we're talking about films of that era. Okay, it's got significant problems. As I say, the dialogue's very clipped. It's only really there to serve the story. But having said that, to Clive Barker's credit, it keeps the dialogue to a kind of absolute minimum, so it doesn't matter too much. It's not like they're filling loads and loads of exposition in, and it's just terrible. It's just little bits that are terrible. Loved it. I have to say, I loved this film. The Cenobites, the arrival of the Cenobites, when Pinhead speaks, it's just so striking, and the music is just terrific. I'm sure. Is it John? I think it's John Williams who did Harry Potter. He must have heard this. He must have. This is one of the great 80s horrors, actually. In terms of a double bill, I think I'd say this and something involving other dimensional. It's Lovecraftian, this. It's not really about Jesus or anything. It's about other dimensions, other things being out there. So I think this would probably go with a similar kind of film, and I'm thinking Stuart Gordon's From Beyond, which deals with Lovecraftian extra dimensions with horrible beings out there, you know, and changed physiologies and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd say Hellraiser and From Beyond would be a great double bill. I'd give this film, it's got, because of the major flaws, even though I really love it, because of the major flaws, I think I'd give this 70 out of 100. And that ties in exactly with its IMDb score, 7 out of 10, which is kind of interesting. I always try and score mine before looking at IMDb. So I'm not influenced in any way. So that was quite cool. Recommend this film. It looked terrific. I saw it on a Blu-ray version and it looked terrific. I can only imagine a DVD version, and it looked terrific. I can only imagine the Blu-ray is even better. And I think I'll be seeking Hellraiser 2 out in the very, very near future. Okay then. Bye. Visit us at our website www.thegoodthebadandtheodd.com, or you can leave us feedback on info@thegoodthebadandtheodd.com. Any feedback you leave will be greatly appreciated, and we should be sure to mention you. We'd also very much like any iTunes reviews.